Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time once again. It's time for that podcast heard, well, around a few places, by tens of listeners. It's time for the Department of Understanding Humans, the podcast. That's right, the podcast, featuring your ringmasters for the day, that stupendous giggle-snorting gal, Friday herself, Rachel Wynn, and now her co-host actually has a name, that cranky clown you love to adore, Chris Meyer. And on with the show!
D.U.H, Department of Understanding Humans, yeah!
Little murder baby killed him. Little murder baby killed the Night King.
Murder baby.
My little murder baby, Arya Stark.
Your little murder baby.
My little murder baby. And people are upset about that, I can't believe.
Well, a lot of people were upset about a lot of things last night. Not just storyline wise. Apparently, it was very dark for a lot of people, and they didn't have their settings up high enough to be able to see it. Another complaint was that it was too fast and too much going on, and they couldn't follow it. The other thing was it was almost anticlimactic, the way it led up to Murder Baby's kill in the Godswood. And what else was the other big... we kept losing stream. And it was it was fuzzy. It wasn't high def. It was fuzzy.
That sucks for you. You watched the whole thing.
But we watched the whole thing. So it would start getting into a really big part, and then suddenly it would do that buffering thing, and we're like, son of a bitch! I stood up when Arya jumped up, and he turned around and he clapped her throat. I'm like, no! And then when she got him, I stood up.
Same thing.
I stood up in the middle of the living room, screaming my head off. Yes! Yeah! It was great.
You know, and I'm sorry, people that are mad about it, I hate to tell you, season 3, where she met Melisandre, she told her,
she did.
You will close many eyes. Green eyes, brown eyes, and blue eyes.
There were a lot of throwbacks.
We didn't know what that meant.
There were a lot of throwbacks to season 1 in this episode.
Oh, tons of throwbacks.
Oh yeah.
My favorite part, and it was also my favorite, and also my that sucks part. She touched the Dothraki leaders, his scimitar sword, and whew, they all lit up on fire. And I thought, oh, she's giving them a fighting chance. Nope. They all got snuffed out.
And they turned into dead people, walkers. Apparently, remember the message I sent to you about, hey, nobody saw Ghost? Apparently, at the very end, there was a scene, kind of when they were doing the overall look at who survived and who didn't, and everybody's reaction to everything turning into icy dust. He's in one of those scenes. He's small and in the distance, but he's there. So apparently he did not get got. So
you can't kill Ghost.
Can't kill Ghost. And the previews lead us to believe that a lot of really cool stuff happens next weekend too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, there was a part that I was just kind of like, the dragon fighting. I was like, oh, jeez, God.
Oh, the dragon fighting.
God. That was intense. That was absolutely intense. But I'll tell you what, at one point, I swear to you, I looked at my husband across the couch and I'm like, we're going to lose everybody. They're all going to die. I don't know how they're going to do 3 more seasons. It's probably just going to be King's Landing and Cersei being a little, C word. But we're losing everybody tonight. And he goes, no, just wait. And then Jorah died. And I'm like,
Jorah went out like a boss.
He went out protecting Dany.
He went out on his feet with a sword in hand.
And he did.
To me, it was a fitting end for Jorah.
It was
he went out doing the one thing he set out to do, which was protect Dany.
Yep. And then is it Drogo or Drogon?
Drogon. He's alive.
Okay, so when he laid down next to her and kind of curled around her to protect her, and he just kind of let out that whimpering, I just about lost my shit. I'm like, oh my god, and I was so worried. I thought Viserys, the green one, was dead, but apparently he's just really wounded. So he shows up. I mean, they show in the preview that both of them are fine. But God, that was intense. It was nonstop. I'm like,
I'll tell you, the scenes of the ones that died, that went out on their feet fighting. I was weeping. I cried like a baby because little Lyanna Mormont.
Oh my God, she totally went out just as
was tough.
It was just the way she was written too, though. But I mean, she was fighting. And she's like, and she runs up and she's got him, and he starts to crush her, and she pokes him in the eye. I'm like, yeah, you little bitch, get it.
Down fighting.
Yeah,
my man Dodrick went down fighting.
I loved Dodrick.
He held the hallway, holding them off so they could escape.
Yeah, I loved him. He was awesome.
Letting them stab him.
It was really interesting how the Red Witch, the Red Woman, how she really kind of, like, she showed up out of, like, where did she come from? And she came from the same direction as the dead. So what the hell? But then I also, at the end, when Arya's running into the Godswood, they pans back to the generals standing there, and there's that breeze that blows by and it blows that guy's hair, but nobody moves, and suddenly there she is jumping in the air. I'm like, what the hell was that?
That's how well she was trained.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, girl, you got it.
But speaking of the Godswood scene,
what the hell? Theon kicked
ass. We gotta say goodbye to our man Theon.
Balls are a state of mind.
Balls is a state of mind. He ain't got no dick, he ain't got no balls, but man, what a lot of heart.
He does. He did have a lot of heart, and I really appreciate
the character
Bran.
You loved to hate.
You really did. I mean,
when Theon turned, you went, oh, you prick. I mean, I remember watching it going, oh, you
son of a bitch, you evil, ill man.
Bitch, you prick. And then when, like this in the scenes where he's got the burned boys' bodies in he says it's Brandon Rickon, and you're like, oh, you dick. So, Alfie Allen, well played.
Well played.
What a well played character you did.
Somewhere in there, during the filming, he broke his leg.
Yeah.
In one of we don't know which one, because I remember they were filming that last summer when we were having Dragon Con.
We were at Dragon Con.
Because he was supposed to be at Dragon Con because we were going to give him his T-shirt.
Yep. And then he didn't make it because he fell off a horse.
Is that what he did? He fell off a horse and broke his leg?
He fell off a horse and broke his leg.
Damn. That's all just crazy. So we know that Tormund's alive. We know that
Brianna's alive. Podrick's alive.
Gentry's alive.
Jamie's alive. Jamie is alive. Got one damn hand and he's alive and doesn't fight with his left hand.
Jeez. And okay, Sansa and Tyrion in the tombs at the very end, right before everything stops. That was the sweetest moment. I'm sorry, but they're back there hiding behind. We think it was Ned's tomb.
Yeah, it was Ned's tomb.
And he holds her hand and kisses the back of her hand. And at one point she had said earlier, she was like, you were the best of them. And he's like, well, that's sad.
That's a sad song. Yeah, I love that.
And they did have a good banter back and forth, but it was nice seeing them there. And she pulls out her dragonglass knife, and he pulls out his dragonglass knife, and they just look at each other like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna fight. And he kisses her hand, and you just kind of go, oh my God, that's so sweet. And that's when I really started to lose it, because you realize, like,
that's it. You sit there and you watch and you go, it's it. They're all going to die.
Just about everybody in the tombs died. Like,
except for Varys.
and okay, so she didn't die, right?
She didn't die, and neither did Gilly and Little Sam, which I thought, oh man, Gilly and Little Sam are in there.
Where were they? I didn't see them.
They were behind Varys in the Sunday.
Okay, I didn't see them. Him and his little birds.
Him and his little birds. His kids were all safe, oh Varys, but I'm telling you,
God,
man, that was a nail biter. I have never seen a show. I mean, okay, I say I've never seen a show. The World Series with the Cubs, the last game, didn't have me on edge as bad as Game of Thrones.
We're gonna have to watch it again. We're total to see what we missed.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch it again to see what you missed. I mean, there's things you got to go over and over and over again. Because it was, as I said, it was so fast. And
it really
I get
was
it.
fast.
People said it was too dark, but I hate to tell you, the fighting was at night.
Yeah, that's the story. Oh my God! Speaking of the fighting at night, when the Dothraki went across the field, and it's all the fired swords going across the field, and they're like, and then it stops, and then suddenly they just start going out one by one, and you're like, fuck. Holy shit.
What got me, one of the other scenes where you see a snuff scene. The Night King is riding the dragon and he sees the trench of fire, and then he just raises his hand and lowers it, and then you see one by one the whites, boom.
Yes, there's the body bridge.
Path. They're making a bridge.
Oh my God. The body bridge.
Oh man.
Okay, so when she sat there and blasted him full on with dragon fire, and then suddenly I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, honey, there's something wrong. He's like, what do you mean? This should be it. This should be the end of it. I'm like, no. There's something wrong. There is something wrong. Look, there is something seriously wrong. And then suddenly they pan in, and there he is, motherfucker. I'm like, son of a... Did you scream at your TV?
Of course, I looked at the clock, and we were watching it in Cole's. Yeah. I'm like, there's too much time left. This is an hour and a half hour. This is an hour and a half. There's too much time left. It can't end like this. She goes, oh no. I said, nope. He's gonna walk out.
When he's
riding a dragon, he's gonna walk out.
When the fire didn't hurt him, A, it confirmed that he possibly was a Targaryen.
Right.
B, the fact that at that moment I kind of went, we're going to lose everybody. Because, here comes Jon running off of his wounded dragon, going after him with his Valyrian steel sword, because he's like, I could do it. I could totally do it. And nope.
And he looks back, he goes, nah.
And he raises all of them. I'm like, look, he's going to raise them all. And here they come. They all come up, and I'm like, oh, he's dead. He's gone. He's dead. He's absolutely dead. And then I was worried about the dragon, because Dany stood there too long, and they all rushed the dragon. And then she gets bumped off. I'm like, oh, she's dead. Oh, she's dead. She's absolutely dead. And then he flies off and shakes them off of him, not before sustaining a lot of wounds. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to lose both dragons. We're going to lose all the dragons. We're going to lose all the dragons. We're going to lose all of our people. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. And then here comes Jorah, like the hero that he is. Swoon.
The Knight of Westeros, Ser Jorah. But now all the Mormonts are gone.
Yeah, what will happen to the houses that have fallen?
Okay. The Umbers are gone.
The Umbers are gone.
The Kostarks are gone. I think. No, the Kostarks are still around, I think. There's some left. The girl was a Kostark. She's still left. In like the last season. Like the boy that died, that was the Umber.
That was the Umber. The girl, right.
And then there was a young girl. She lived. She was still at Winterfell.
Okay.
The Mormont, I mean, you look at the north, the Boltons gone, Mormonts gone. Umbers gone.
I think the Starks have all of the north at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's it, man. There's no other The Tullys are gone. Well, except for Edmure. Edmure is still alive, I think, in the Riverlands.
Wait, what about Sam's family?
He's it.
He's it. He's a Tully, isn't he?
No, he's a Tarly.
He's a Tarly. Tarly. Dickon!
Hill. Dickon. Rickon. Right? No,
Rickon. No, Dickon.
Dickon, really?
And Bronn, he's coming. So I wonder what's going to happen with him and the brothers.
I don't think Bronn is going to kill him.
No, I don't think so either.
I think Bronn's going to look at that kind of, fuck you.
Right. See if you can find me and kill me, whatever. Tall finger. We know Gendry made it, and he and Arya have another moment next week. They alluded to that in the preview.
Right, exactly.
Jeez, there's so much to clean up. Well, okay, so here's my question. I just think I answered it before. When we were at dinner, I was like, there's a lot of dead people to clean up. But if they all turn to ice and sand, because by the time everything was all said and done, all the dead had risen. And so when she killed the Night King, they all shattered into dust and ice, except for the dragon. The dragon kind of flumped down as a sock puppet. But with the fire coming out of his throat from where
half a
his
jaw
brother,
missing, like half a face missing.
Yeah, it was still scary as hell though. Like, he's gonna eat Jon. He's gonna eat Jon. Look, he's gonna freaking eat Jon. Crashed.
Crash.
So, I mean, I guess there really isn't a whole lot of cleanup to do, because if they all disappeared as a result of killing the Night King, maybe there's not as much death to clean up after all.
Boy, I don't know.
It'd be interesting.
It probably is. But,
yeah.
Whew. The stuff they got to do.
And so while the dragons were up in the air, I'm like, wait, was that theirs or was that his? Who was that? Was that them or was that him? Was that them? Was that him? And he's like, no, that was them. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, nope, that was him. Oh my God. What the hell? And then what is Bran doing the entire freaking time? I'm going to go now. Like, where are you going to go? I'm going to warg into some ravens.
Yeah, like, where's he going?
He's warging into ravens to get an idea of what's going on, but Theon's keeping him safe, and at the very end of it, he's like, you're a good man, Theon. Really? Thanks, dude. Like...
Thanks. You're a good man, Theon. You're a good man.
Did you see
I'm just going to be a little bit creepy here while...
Speaking of creepy, did you see the interview with him where the girl who plays Sansa says to him, she's like, you're really creeping me out. Sometimes you look like, it's like you're looking through my soul. And then it was like, because she's a ginger, he's not really seeing anything because gingers have no soul.
Gingers have no soul.
Oh, yeah. But our favorite ginger who grew up on Giant's milk, he's alive and kicking.
He's alive.
And he's kissed by fire.
Kissed by fire. I was hoping to have the line of them standing there and he goes, did the big woman live?
You're all gonna die. Is the big woman here?
The big woman here.
Yeah.
And if anything in this life, I hope people find someone who is happy for them as Tormund is happy for Brienne when she got knighted. That's all.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I love the way he stood up and he's like, yeah. And he's so excited. You know, not for nothing, she needs to catch a clue, because if Jaime ends up being Jaime and, you know, being Jaime towards her, she needs to turn around and like, Tormund, look. Yes.
Let's get on.
Wow, wow, wow. Have Podrick sing a song.
Babies kissed by fire.
That are going to rule the world. Giant babies that'll rule the world.
Giant babies that will rule the world.
Because they'd be so cute. Oh God.
Yes, they would.
They would.
You gotta love them.
So I wonder what's going to happen with Danny and John now, because
That is an interesting question.
Which I think was
we don't know.
We really don't know, but it's clear they can put aside personal stuff and work very well together still.
Very much so. And I mean that was proof of this episode.
Yeah, and so I'm hoping that she sees that.
But let's face it, the threat's over.
Yeah, I really don't want to think that she's going to end up being the villain and going after him. You know what I mean? But I know that she's done with the patriarchal society. Sorry, I can't say patriarchy because I've had 2 margaritas.
Oh, well, that kind of night, huh? All right.
Hey.
So the patriarchal society, she's done with.
Yes.
She's done with it.
She's done with it. So I don't know if that, because that was kind of her response was, yeah, it means you're the last male heir.
Yes.
You have the legitimate right to the throne. But she did also say, it's kind of interesting that your best friend and brother
said told you this.
And my God, John, jeez. And you tell me this right before the horns are going to blow? Son of a bitch.
Damn it, John. But anyway.
But it was really cool to see both of them on dragons, spitting fire at the dead, crisscrossing each other like a dance, just raw.
Yes.
Like it was meant to
right,
be.
Left, right.
It was so awesome. And yet
I totally enjoyed the episode. And to people criticizing the episode left and right, I don't take this the wrong way, but guess what? 80% of the time, you're going to take it the wrong way, so take it the wrong way. Fuck you, okay?
Get over it. Just get over it.
And I mean that sarcastically when I say don't take it the wrong way. Yeah, take it the fuck you, okay? Just
tell them how you really feel, Chris.
You fucking Siskel and Ebert motherfuckers that you are.
I don't think you dropped enough F-bombs. Come on.
There's only a few film critics and TV critics in the world. We don't need all TV critics. Enjoy a show for what it is. Just enjoy the moment, sit back, relax, and lose yourself.
And shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry, wait.
Let the rest of us who like it enjoy it.
Can you do that again, please?
Shut the fuck up.
It was so dark. Brand didn't do anything. Arya killed the Night King. What's we done?
Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares.
Well, who did they want to kill the Night King? Arya's perfect for it.
They all wanted Jon. You know, it was Jon's movement. She stepped on Jon's movement.
No, it was it was her moment.
It was her moment.
It was her moment for the entire freaking episode. It was all a setup for Arya.
You need to pay attention.
Shit, from the moment he gave her the dagger, it was a setup. He knew why he gave her the dagger. And they foreshadowed it when she fought with Brienne at the end of season 7. Because of the way she won on Brienne on the sparring. Because she did the exact same move with Brienne. And Brienne's like, that was amazing. Who taught you that? And she's like, nobody. No one. No one was going to kill the Night King. And no one did.
And no one did.
And I think that's amazing. Since episode 1, season 1, she has been getting set up for last night. Even with the bow and arrow, when the boys are all sitting there out in the courtyard shooting the targets, and Bran chokes because he's thinking too long about it. She gets the target, and guess what? They replayed that when she shot the walker in the head that was coming after the Hound, and he turned around. He's like, "Son of a bitch! What? Who? What?" And then he looks up, and there she is with her bow and arrow because she's that good. And she's the youngest girl, and she's a girl. Hello, is it me you're looking for?
I don't know, ask Gendry.
Let's get it on. You know that they're going to have, like, life after death sex, right?
They will have freaky circus sex in Winterfell. They will have the freakiest of freaky nasties in Winterfell.
You think they got some Cavassier down there in some Winterfell?
They will be doing it, yes. Listen, the ladies' man knows what the lady wants. He is a predator. Oh, yeah.
I think it was awesome that the Hound went back and grabbed her.
Yes.
That was awesome sauce. He's like, okay, we're going to die. We're all going to win. They're going to win. We're all going to lose. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, tell her that. And there she is, fighting her ass off. And he goes off running right for her. You feel bad for her. Why?
I felt bad for him because, I mean, he's messed up by fire.
Oh,
okay?
true. And there's fire all around him.
There's fire all around. And he's just like, fuck this, fuck it. He almost had a King's Landing moment where he's like, fuck the queen, fuck the king's god, fuck the king, fuck everybody, fucking, fuck.
Yeah, but he didn't. He sucked it up. And he went after her, and he got to her just as she needed him. Just as she needed him.
Like a boss.
But what was interesting was, and the husband pointed this out, when she got through the stacks, through the library, and and she had just made it, and suddenly when she closes the door, they're all coming after her. And she's running through the hallways. You can hear her breathing change from I am a trained assassin to I'm a scared little girl.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was like, holy crap. What a fine detail. How the hell did they do that? Because she went from to and it was like you could.
Wouldn't it frighten you? It frightened the hell out of me. Damn dead people coming after me. Hell, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'd be shitting my pants.
I would be like fucking Samuel. He's sitting there in a pile of dead people, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't do anymore."
Yeah, Sam was just
poor Sam.
Samwise Tarly.
Samuel Tarly.
Samuel Tarly.
The red
days
woman.
ended.
The days it.
The red woman.
The red woman. When she died at the end.
Dust.
It was so sad. It was so appropriate and so sad. She walks out, she takes off her necklace, and when I saw the necklace hit the ground, I'm like, huh? And I had a kind of confused look on my face. And the hubs is like, that's it. Her age is going to catch up to her now. And she didn't make it very far out before you see her stumble and just fall over. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm glad that that happened after the king died, because I'd hate for her to have, she knew she was going to die that night, but I didn't realize it was going to be like that.
She did. She tell you I did.
But when she was lighting the trench, I thought her faith. Sorry, I had a margarita or two. I thought her faith had been shaken because she was chanting and chanting and chanting, and the fire didn't catch. And Maggie agrees with that. But she was chanting, and the fire didn't catch, and the bodies are coming at her, and she's just like, her eyes are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and finally it's like, and it takes off. Yeah, I was like, man, that's pretty cool. You go with your witchy self, witchy woman.
Got a black magic woman. Anyway, that's all I got for our recap here.
I honestly think it was an amazing episode. It was everything I had hoped it would be, and then some. They really did a great job with kind of keeping us in suspense all the way to the end. And I can't wait for next week. Next week's going to be awesome. It's either going to be just as good or better, or it's going to tank, because I don't know how much better. Like, have we peaked? Do we have 3 more episodes of we're going to finish and tie up these loose ends?
We got 3 more episodes, and that's it.
Tie up loose ends, call it a day.
Cut the check.
So, all right.
So that's a podcast.
That's a minisode. Yeah.
That's a minisode.
That's a Game of Thrones. Episode 3, minisode.
That's a Game of Thrones minisode.
And we will see you guys next week for our regularly scheduled program.
He is a badass, and I messed up the song because I sang it too early.
Yeah. Okay, so on behalf...
He's got no cock and balls, but he's a badass. The ungraded.
There you go.
The
So
anyway,
thanks.
go ahead, Rachel. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, on behalf of Chris Meyer and myself, thanks, guys, so much. Have a great night. See you next week.
Enjoy.
Bye. Thanks for joining us here at the Department of Understanding Humans, also known as DUH. Just remember, this is our circus. These are our monkeys. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media outlets. You can find all of our podcasting streams and feeds at our website at www.duhwebsite.com. That's D.U.H website.com. Thanks again for joining us, and have a great day.